April is National Poetry Month, and when Gabrielle Gadfly first sent out a call for videos about why poetry matters, I thought it was a great idea, but I hate to be visible anywhere. So I encouraged him and then went on my merry way. The more I thought about it, the more I realized I had something to say about my life with poetry. My first remembered experience with poetry was with a child's garden of verses. I knew from the beginning that poetry was about what you feel. What child never imagined themselves in the swing in that poem, "How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue?" Oh, I do think it is the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. But as time went on and poetry was used in school, the public joy poetry gave me was stamped out by teachers who thought that all good poetry rhymed and that there was only one way for poetry to be understood. These were well-intentioned teachers even in college, but they had lesson plans to get through. Poetry became a hidden thing for me because I felt that what I was doing was wrong in some fundamental way. As time went on, I read poetry, wrote it occasionally in secret, and wrote study material for some classes that I taught. And then a friend of mine gave me a book of poetry that had belonged to her mother and told me that I should be a writer because I had a poet's heart. It took me a while, but I did. I gave voice to the things I felt and began to read even more widely. Poets like Sylvia Plath and Pablo Neruda and Dennis Johnson, so different in so many ways, but still speaking to my heart. I've had a few things published, but suddenly I found myself on the receiving end of some sharp words that pretty much said that what I wrote had less value than stories some other people were producing because they had written more words and had struggled for a period of time over those words. At first I was crushed and believed the critics, but soon I realized that they did not know how long a poem had beat at my heart before I wrote it on paper. They had no idea how much of my true self I was forced to reveal by what I wrote and how perilous I found this process. I also found that I was beginning to compare myself to other people. I wanted to write like them and constantly compared myself to their beautiful words and images. Then I got a note from someone who thanked me for something I wrote and said, "I felt like you wrote that just for me." So I have become a more public poet. I still write under a pseudonym because I'm still hiding to a certain degree, but I hope to change that in the near future. So if you are the teacher, trust your student to know what a poem means, even when it does not agree with what you think. You could be making a huge difference in that student's life. If you love poetry, find what you like and read it with joy or weeping. Share your feelings with others and encourage the poets in your life. If you are the poet, trust yourself. Be brave about showing your true self to others. Write, read, and love your poetry. It is your soul. I say all these things because poetry matters.